And after a bit of building, as you can see, we have successfully built a really cool looking room for our storage system. We've got most of the workstations we are actually going to need right here, as well as some extra storage underneath. As you can see, ender chest is accessible, got the stone cutter, brewing stand, all the stuff that I'm going to need. I haven't really found a spot for a bed yet, to be honest. At the moment, I'm just sleeping in the actual Helm's Deep place. I really like the floor design. I've also added a bit of water in as well because, you know, buckets of water is going to be so useful, and having this as like an infinite water system will actually help heaps. As well as here, we've got a stack of anvils, because why not? You know, we're going to use a lot of anvils this season, as well as I've got some spares behind here with the button. And to make it even, I've added another button on the other side, which actually gives us access to behind the redstone. So in case anything breaks or we want to stop the system for any particular reason. Now, I did a live stream earlier, which we did quite a bit of building in. If you were there, you will know exactly what we were able to achieve. As you could see, we spent, I think, about 2 hours actually building this entire room just here. I've kind of copied the same roof design as the floor design over there. We've added a lot more details in this room, and it's looking really cool. I'm extremely happy with how this is. And I've also started making a basic shape around here of how I want this room to look like. However, I'm not sure if I'll go ahead with it. And there's still quite a bit of building to do. I've still got this whole entire section here to build. So yeah, with the combination of both these rooms, I'm actually really happy with how this has actually turned out. The roof design in here is absolutely insane, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And yes, you're probably looking at my levels right now. I have been AFK in the gold farm a whole load, so we have got plenty of levels, and hopefully I won't die, especially to Starkins after what he did last episode. Now, if we come back here, you will see that we have built not 1, not 4, but 8 chunk loaders. And this is mainly to keep the system going and allows the machine to keep sorting out items while I am not online or off doing something else in the world. So I'll be able to sort out items and leave, and it will still actually sort out all the items for me. And yes, these are a bit loud. You can hear this one here from in this corner over there, because it is continuously shooting out boats from this dispenser here. That's how it works. And so I'm thinking of moving this across. As you can see, it's in this chunk here. However, I think I can move it over one more chunk and move it over here, and it should be fine. Same with that one there, because these two you can hear from the storage system. However, those two over there are fine. You can't hear that at all. And then obviously these 4 down here you can't actually hear from up there, so I'm not too fussed about those at all. If we go underneath in the nether, you will actually see our chunk loaders that I have built, if I remember where they are. Yeah, they're all up here. And they are pretty loud. I don't want you to shoot any of these chunk loaders, so I am just going to kill you. Listen to how loud they are. That's insane. And I don't want... Yeah, that's what I thought, bro. I don't want any guys shooting and destroying these chunk loaders. So they're all linked up and in the right corner, so they don't actually mess up each other and end up in different spots. And so this is really good. They're all compact as well, so they're not spread out and don't interact with other people's portals. So as long as no one builds it in the radius of these, it shouldn't interact with them. Now, there is a data pack on the server called Armor Statues, which you guys have probably seen in series like Hermitcraft and stuff like that, which allows you to move around armor stands and make them invisible, make them do all different stuff. And that's why I've kind of got this stuff in my inventory. If we come down here, you'll see that I've been messing around with some armor stands. I made it look like there was a sword leaning against the wall over here by putting it aligned up with the corner of the wall, and it looks so good. Now, that's only one. I want to do plenty more just around this area here, up here, just swords and armor pieces just scattered around, because in Helm's Deep, this is one of the main battles of the actual movie itself. So having random armor pieces scattered around the place, or even just random bits and bobs everywhere, will actually be very cool. I'm mainly only going to use iron tools and iron gear and stuff like that, because I don't think it's going to be very medieval when you have diamond armor and tools, and iron kind of makes a lot more sense as well. So I'm going to quickly go craft up a whole load of stuff now to be able to make all these armor stands. I think I definitely went a bit overboard with the amount of armor stands I'm going to need. You can never be over prepared. So I've just gone and created a whole heap of just the most random stuff out of iron I could. And now I'm going to find a way to implement this into the base. So let's see what we can do with it. Look at how cool these are. As you can see when we walk in, you can ignore the shulker boxes. There are now a couple items just scattered around the place, like shears, axes, hoes, and shovels. And as well, we involved a pickaxe. We made sure to add quite a few shears because this is like the hay bale farm area, I guess, in the castle. But how cool does it look? It makes the area feel more alive. Like there's a lot more going on and more realistic. So after a really long time, approximately 3 hours, we have now been able to put all of the different sorts of armor stands, items just everywhere. Like, look at how cool this is, having these swords on the ground, even some spare helmets. And if we come up here, you'll see that we've even got leaning swords against the sides, walls, and pickaxes. Oh, it's so cool. I absolutely love it. And it makes the place definitely feel more alive. I've also added in some small sort of barrels as well. As you can see, they look really cool. And up here, we've got more small chests as well. Instead of it just being flat on the ground as well, it looks like it's actually leaning against walls. And it gives it a bit more depth to the actual build. Especially this area here actually feels a lot more detailed. With helmets, we've got small anvils and a lot more items on the ground, including a little bow storage area, I guess is what you can call it, with an extra target block, many bows, arrows. And in here we've even got heading tools on what you call tripwire hooks. It doesn't make it look like it though, but it is so cool. I'm really happy with that. And then obviously I did it to the interior of this place as well to make it not feel as empty, because it was very empty beforehand, but now it actually feels a bit more like busy with more crafting tables and barrels. Some of these like swords and tools hanging against the walls I'm very proud of because it just looks so cool. I'm very proud of those. And yes, the upstairs is also done. As you can see, I've made sure to put detail absolutely everywhere in this place. More hanging tools, small chests again. Yeah, this place is full of details. I even added a little display for the elytras. As you can see, it's got a little hook there hanging to help the elytra, and I've got all my spare elytras in here. And yes, I have been end busting a bit. It's actually one of the quicker way to get diamonds. So yeah, I'm very happy with how this place turned out. Put your opinion down in the comments if I should add more or if I should take away some of these because it might be too much. But I'm really happy with how this has turned out. So right now I am at the industrial area, as there is one thing I want to achieve. As you guys remember, there is a massive mob farm here, which has been used to gather all of this gunpowder, all of the mob drops, and all of that useful stuff, especially at the start of the season. And one of the main reasons we needed it was for rockets. As you can see over there, our massive sugarcane farmers provided all the sugarcane. Then we've got all the gunpowder in these chests over here that we use to craft up all the rockets. However, they are a pain to craft, especially when you need a full shulker box. So I thought, considering we've got the crafter in this world, why don't we make it automated? So my job right now is to make an automatic crafter for tier 3 rockets. Because if you guys don't know, there are 3 tiers of rockets, each having a different durability. As you can see, this here is a tier 1 rocket. As you can see, it doesn't last too long. This here is a tier 2 rocket, lasts a lot longer. And then the tier 3 rocket, which basically can go all the way up there. So, yes, tier 3 rockets are better to use, especially when it comes to flying over distances with your elytra. And so that is also why you kind of see all this redstone in my inventory, especially all of these shulker shells and chests, because I'm going to make, just like my sorting system, a shulker box loader, which will load all the rockets into a shulker box for us. And then once it runs out of shulker boxes, it will then be able to stop the system and tell it that, okay, we don't need any more rockets, let's have a break for now. And then it will keep recycling that around. Don't worry, I'm going to keep this first column and possibly the second column as just gunpowder and keep it that way. This third column, however, I'm going to use all that gunpowder and turn it into rockets. So I'm going to grab some cobblestone and some building blocks, and let's start up this little contraption. So what I've gone ahead and done here is I've built one of these shulker box loaders that you saw in my storage system, which basically produces and shows the shulker boxes and puts all the items into the shulker boxes. However, this little thing up here above it is a little bit different. This here is what automatically crafts all of the rockets. So if I just get rid of that hopper for now, I'll come over and grab some gunpowder. I also need some sugarcane. You'll see that it now crafts all of the paper. And it'll end up in this chest, and then it should lock once that is done. This is to prevent any overflow, so it won't actually continuously craft the paper when there is no gunpowder to be put in here. As soon as there is gunpowder from that farm there, you'll see it now crafts the flight duration 3 rockets, and in this hopper here, you get flight duration 3. It is so cool. So let me just connect that up. Oh, that did something to the system. Let me just put that back. There we go. So now it's just crafted up all of the rockets, which is really cool. So there are a couple things that I want to add onto this system, which will make it a lot better and a lot more efficient for not just the rockets, but also the shulker boxes as well. So what I'm going to do is this here, instead of having just chests full of shulker boxes and I'll have to come and refill, I'm going to make a little system where all you need to do is throw in some shulker shells, throw in some wood, or even chests, one of the above, and it will automatically craft all the shulker boxes for you. And then once it's full, it will actually stop. Another thing I want to do is, as you can see here, when there's items passing through here, this here is going to send out a little bit of a signal. If I get rid of this hopper just there, and I put a shulker box in here, you see even one shulker box is just not strong enough to get to that repeater. Which means as shulker boxes pass through here, it shouldn't disrupt this redstone signal. But as soon as this system is full and the shulker boxes start to back up when there are fireworks in the system, and an extra shulker box of fireworks comes into here, you'll see that the repeater is now on because there's 2 here and it's backed up because of the storage. So that's how I'm going to detect a bit of an overflow system when this is starting to fill up, which will actually turn off this system and stop it from creating more rockets. So there are multiple things I need to build in order to achieve this. I have got to build the automatic shulker box creator. I've also got to build the overflow system, this thing here, to stop it from overflow. I've also got to transport the items there over to here. I also have to build another sugarcane farm because I do have a sugarcane farm over there. However, it's a bit far away to transport the items here, so I'm going to build another sugarcane farm just to the side over here. It won't be as big as that, but it will be enough sugarcane to continuously produce tons and tons of it, and it will just continuously craft rockets and then put it into the system to display here. So it will be good enough for anyone just to grab rockets whenever they have run out. And then obviously the last thing I need to add on is a chunk loader. So this thing will continuously run even when no one is online and no one's in this area. So it will actually continuously load, and then it will just fill up with rockets, and we'll have infinite rockets. We've got a lot ahead of us, so let's get building. Okay, so what I've done now is I've connected up a little hopper system. I know it isn't too much, but this hopper system here basically goes from the gunpowder there into a water elevator here, which then the gunpowder gets shot up into this area here, into these hoppers here, which then goes into this chest here, which then crafts the rockets. This redstone line here actually stops the dispenser from shooting gunpowder whenever this hopper is filled up. If this hopper is filled up with gunpowder, this here will stop the gunpowder from being shot up, which then stops any of the gunpowder being shot up to despawn. Now, I've also added in a small sugarcane farm just here. It isn't anything too big and fancy. This is just to keep it going for while I build this, and I will probably add another like 2 or 3 layers to this thing, as this is only 1 layer with about 64, I think, sugarcane just in here waiting to grow. I also have gone and grabbed some sugarcane from over there and just added it into here just to make sure the system was ready to continuously craft rockets. All left to do is to actually hook up this gunpowder, which involves those hoppers. There we go. And now we should wait for it. The gunpowder should start flying up, and then obviously it's going to go into here. Oh, I am collecting it. That's not a good thing. And now this system here is crafting tier 3 rockets. If we have a look in this chest here, yep, there it goes. And they're heading right into this shulker box here. So now the whole system is actually working. We've now got ourselves an automatic rocket crafter, including the sugarcane farm, including everything. Now it's just those small improvements, such as the chunk loader, the automatic shulker box crafter, and then layers on the sugarcane farm. They're the 3 more things that I need to tick off. So we have successfully finished up the whole entire rocket shulker box loaders, and now got ourselves a rocket factory. As you can see here, I have been sitting here for a while letting this thing run while I've been AFK in that top section up there, and we now have infinite rockets. So whenever I run out of rockets, if we look in my ender chest, you'll see that I have a rocket shulker box. I can just come here, restock with that, and then be on my way instead of having to sit here and continuously craft new rockets. So what I have done is I've actually added on, I think it was 3 layers to make it 4 in total, because if I added on another layer, it will actually interfere with the mob farm, and I do not want that to happen. But you can see that I've got 4 layers here of just sugarcane, and that should continuously grow and keep us up to date with sugarcane in the chest. I've also added in a chunk loader here. This is because it is actually in reach of this whole entire system, and it's also in reach of the sugarcane farm. I don't think it's in reach of this final like section of the farm, which is like 4 blocks short. So I'm actually not too fussed about that. And so sugarcane will continuously grow no matter who's online, who's offline, if the server's running and stuff like that. However, I have to be AFK in order to get the gunpowder from the farm into here. So as long as I'm AFK for a while and then I come back, I can then let it run while I do other stuff. But yes, we've been AFK for a bit and we've got tons of rockets. And the thing is, this farm works over time as well. So it's not like I have to be AFK in order to get the gunpowder. Every time someone's in this area, Starkins could be working on his base over there, someone could be in the industrial area, and this mob farm here will still be doing its thing. So we'll still be continuously getting rockets. So I don't need to AFK it too much. This is so cool. It's going to save heaps of time being able to just grab rockets and continue on our way. We've achieved so much in this episode so far, which is really good. So there is one more thing I want to achieve in this episode, and that is I want to make a froglight farm. Yes, I know froglights are out of the ordinary. I don't particularly have a big use for it. However, I do want to add in a little bit in the different sections of my terraforming mountains to kind of add a little bit of light to the place. These mountains are basically going to get pitch black at nighttime, making it so mobs can spawn all the way up here and then just raid my base from above. And I do not want that to happen, so I'm going to try and use the combination of maybe frog lights and things like moss carpet as well, because I don't want to expose these lights too much. However, the frog lights will have that green texture to it, which will camouflage into the mountain a bit more. And the other reason I want to make frog lights is because I am low on diamonds again. So I was thinking, lots of people are in need of frog lights on the server, and so I want to make a frog light farm to sell frog lights as well, so I can make a little bit of diamonds back from what I've spent. So I've got 3 frogs back here, mainly for the reason of getting the frog lights for my storage system, because I needed to get frog lights for my storage system. So I've already got 3 frogs here. However, I need to go find a basalt delta so I could actually build this farm up. But first, we've got some materials to gather so we can build up this farm. So let's quickly grab that. So there we go, we've got all of the materials now. That was really quick considering we've got our storage system, so I was able to find everything in a reasonable amount of time. And now we need to go find a basalt delta, and we need to go and transport these frogs over to that location. Lucky for us, there is one right here, as you can see, basalt delta, and so we can just start building here. But all we've got to do now is to transport these guys over. So you guys are coming with me. And yes, I'm only going to add 3 frogs in the farm for now, as I don't need too many frog lights. And I will gradually add more frogs into the farm if I need more in the future. There we go. All 3 frogs are over here. So now we can start to build on the farm. So right now we've finished our froglight farm and it is working amazing. Obviously I can add more frogs in to make it more efficient, but as I come down here, look at the amount of magma cubes there are down here right now. This is the funniest thing I think I've seen. There is definitely a lot of magma cubes in that area there, and we are getting tons and tons of froglights. It is also very loud down here. I might actually go and turn down friendly creatures and hostile creatures. There we go. But as you can see in these chests, just from being up there, this is what we got, which is absolutely insane. And in between episodes, I'm most likely going to put more frogs in there just to make it more efficient. However, this episode isn't finished yet. We've now got to build a Froglight shop. So I am planning to build it at Starkin's base, so then it can kind of fit in with his design in his area. And also, you can tell that I've still been AFK in the gold farm by my levels down below. I'm on my way to level 1000, and my goal is to get there and then not die, hopefully, for the rest of the season. This here is definitely going to be one of the coolest builds that I'm ever going to build. Look at how cool this frog looks. And the interior is where the details and the shop is actually going to be. I haven't done anything in the inside yet, but we've still got to decorate the interior of the frog. However, let's go AFK and collect some of these frog lights so we can bring them up and start storing them in the shop so people can buy them. So I've got a couple of items for the interior of this frog light farm, as well as I want to fill up these 3 shulker boxes with the frog lights that I've collected here. Actually, I might even need more shulker boxes. See, in the end, we've got enough frog lights to fill up 4 shulker boxes of each type of frog light, as well as I got a full shulker box of magma cream in case anyone wants to buy any magma cream. I don't think there is going to be too many people, but it's just there in case anyone wants to buy it. As well as I got a shulker box with the spares, as there were quite a bit of frog lights in there, and I will be keeping this in my storage system because I'm going to use them as well. But yeah, let's go transport all of this into the interior of this shop. How is this for an interior? I'm actually quite happy with it. Doesn't have too much detail here. Everything's a pretty reasonable price. As you can see, 1 diamond for 1 stack for the frog lights, which I reckon is good considering we get a good amount of them when we AFK, as well as I've just added magma cream for 1 diamond for 3 stacks, considering not many people are going to buy that. And then the last thing is I want to put payments here. There we go. Let's just add a glass panes to make it so it can't move. We got our frog light shop set up. I think it looks cool, and I'm really happy with how it turns out. Now we just need to wait and see what the profits are going to be like. Hopefully it's a successful shop. If not, it's fine. I actually really enjoyed building this. I know I said that once I was done the shop, I'm going to be done, but I have got something pretty big I want to end the episode off. Let me just grab some materials and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. After a bit of material gathering and also raiding Starkin's base, we won't talk about that. We have got ourselves all the materials for the final part of the video, and as you can see, it is quite a bit of materials, including terracotta, concrete. Yeah, it's just a mix of everything. You're probably confused on what I need all this stuff for, and that is because we need to somehow advertise our shop that we have just made. And so what's a better way of making an advertisement than to make a poster to put up at people's bases? Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to grab some frog lights because I might use them as part of the thing as well. So we're going to build a massive poster on the nether roof, and we're going to use that as a way to advertise what shop we have just built and where they can buy it from. So we're going to give people small samples of the actual frog lights themselves as well. Let's just create an empty map and you'll understand exactly what I'm doing. Now what I'm doing is I'm flying away as far as I can to find an open area that doesn't interfere with any of our nether hub at all. This seems like a good spot. I actually reckon the overworld will be better for the map to actually see the overworld, as the nether is a bit darker. So I'm going to go find an open spot in the overworld and let's build this poster. And after a while, we have achieved a massive, cool looking frog. This would be a great way to advertise all the different frog lights. And this is what it looks like on the map, which I'm really happy with. If I fly out of the zone, you'll see that that looks absolutely incredible, and I'm really happy with that. If I stand here, all I need to do is spam all these maps, and then they should all be the perfect size. Okay, let's just put these all in the thin. I don't think these all go in at the same time, so I'm going to have to spam them in. So now we've got a whole heap of maps with this big frog face on it, basically. So let me just fill up these shulker boxes with all of the maps. And now let's go around to some of the bases, such as Starkins, Skull Crusher, CFM, everyone's bases. We're going to advertise our shop to everyone and hopefully make some profit. But first, we are going to need to gather some materials. I'm going to need item frames. I'm going to need these item frames to display the maps in them. But I also want glow squid or glowing item frames. So I'm going to need glow squid ink sacs, basically, or glow ink sacs. I wonder where the best spot would be to find glow squids. If I put on hitboxes, hopefully I can find one down here. Found one. Hey, let's go. Also, while we're here, you see that I've got a glowing Totem of Undyne in my second hand right now. And that is my first glow squid I've actually killed. You guys can see that I've got a glowing Totem of Undyne. And that is because if I go to advancements, there are some super challenges or super advancements that are here to be complete. Such as send every mob to the nether, obtain every enchantment and at every level throughout your enchanting career, get killed by every mob, summon 10 withers at once, all of these insane advancements which are insane to do. And here is fill your entire inventory with Totems of Undyne. While I was collecting materials earlier, I went to the raid farm because I need to restock totems. And I was able to fill up my whole inventory with Totems of Undyne and get that advancement, and it gave me this as a trophy. So my goal is to keep this enchanted totem for as long as possible without dying. And this here is going to be one thing I want to keep for the rest of the season. And my goal is to keep it in my offhand at all times, not use it up. So the combination of both of those is going to be difficult. But in the end, let's see how long we can last with this totem. 9 glow item frames should do for now. So let's just get out of this cave. Okay, so some of these maps I haven't actually loaded, and I reckon that's because I need to hold the map and load them while I'm there. Well, let's go load up these maps back at the frog area. So if I put that there and I put the map in it, I can easily advertise using something like that. Let me turn off hitboxes so that white square isn't in there. How cool does that look? If I'm able to advertise using that, that is absolutely insane. Let's also grab some signs while we're here as well. So there we go. We've set up our first advertisement, which gives them a little bit at the start. We've also got the coordinates of the actual shop and the poster to advertise it. I've just realized I put that one around the wrong way. I'll go fix that later. There's our next one set up. Actually, I know a better place for this. We'll put it right here on the bridge. Let's go set up one more down here for now, and then we'll be done with the episode. And there's our last one set up. So I'd like to thank everyone here for watching this episode. It's been a very busy episode, and we've achieved a lot in this video. Next episode, I want to go on a little bit of an adventure, and I want to achieve some of these super challenges, as well as some of the other advancements in this category. There's a lot of advancements. There's like 1,000 plus of them to achieve, and if I want to achieve them by the end of the season, I need to start now. Like, some of these advancements are crazy, like collect a stack of piglin heads, obtain a stack of creeper heads, and all of these crazy ones. Defeat a wither while wearing a dragon head without touching the ground. How is that possible? Same with this one. Okay, maybe we could attempt the Dragon vs. Dragon 2 advancement next episode, where we defeat the Ender Dragon while wearing a dragon head without touching the ground. Maybe we could give a go at that one next episode. Ooh, construct a village in the end and defend it from a raid. That would be fun. But yeah, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Next episode, we plan to do some advancements, and I want to continue on my base as well. I haven't done too much on my base in the last 2 episodes. I want to get a bit more done in that area. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.